All right, music fans, welcome back. Harmless Dave here, talking real music in real time for a few real people out there, just like you and just like me. The sad and just horrible story of former lead guitarist Mick Marrs. Used to be the lead guitar player for Motley Crew. Spent like 41 years with the band, and some really bad stuff going on. Here's Cry of Dawn. This came out a couple of months ago. Anthropocene. It's about the end of the world, and we're the reason that the world is ending. So, subject matter aside, some really great guitar work on this album and some great singing. So please check out Cry of Dawn. This is their second release. It's more of a project band than anything else, but still, at least you've got some good music to listen to. And if you want to hear more great music all the time, modern retro radio, modernretrofm.com. Yours truly doing some voiceover work over on that particular radio station. It is an internet station, modernretrofm.com, playing the music that nobody else has the courage to play. Now, on to this Motley Crue thing with Mick Marrs. Here's the headline: Mick Marrs doesn't want to talk to his Motley Crue bandmates ever again. I think all of us would be okay with that. Now, he'll explain that line a little bit more here. There's an article out there where he claims that the last time he actually spoke to anyone in Motley Crue was during the premiere of the Dirt movie in 2019. So 4 years ago, he had some conversations with the other guys in Motley Crue. He says here, nobody spoke to me in 2022 during the Crue's stadium tour with Def Leppard. Nobody spoke to him. A lot of the time, like, I was just playing by myself. He says, you know how you can be in a crowd of people and still feel all alone? That's how I felt the entire tour. I felt used, sad, and inferior. When we played the last show in Vegas on September 9th of 2022, he says, I felt relieved. A lot of the pressure was gone, but I was very emotionally wounded. He goes on to say, they weren't just shallow wounds, they were deep ones, the kind you just can't get over. Holy crap, Batman. Mick went on to say that he hopes to never talk to his bandmates again. He says, I think all of us would be okay with that. And I don't just mean me with them. He says, I mean them with each other. So that's the second part of the headline. He's basically saying that nobody in this band likes one another. It's just a financial transaction. And not only that, but there's not a lot of real stuff going on when you get on stage. Now, look, am I going to say that John Five isn't playing his guitar? John Five is a really good musician, so I'm thinking he's probably plugged in doing something, right? But these guys don't like each other. And I think Mick Marrs was the first domino to fall. He goes on to say this: I don't plan on having a funeral. This is Mick Marrs. If I did, I think maybe they'd show up for that just out of courtesy. But for me, there's no funeral. There's no nothing. Wow. This guy is angry. It goes on to say here, when Marrs announced his retirement from touring with Motley Crue last October as a result of worsening health issues, he maintained that he would remain a member of the band, with John Five taking his place on the road. However, he has since filed a lawsuit against Motley Crue in Los Angeles County Superior Court, claiming that after his announcement, the rest of Crue tried to remove him as a significant stakeholder in the group's corporation and business holdings via a shareholders meeting. Think of this, folks. This is obviously similar to the situation in Journey to some degree. But these guys who started playing music together back in, 1981, probably before that, but we'll just say 81, that's the band's inception. And they're all like, hey, let's get together, start a band, make some great music. This LA scene is really kind of cool. We'll fit right in. We'll start a new trend, whatever it is that they were trying to do back in the 80s. And they're just four young guys, basically adolescents, and they create this band, and now they're in LA Superior Court battling it out. It all just goes to all this legal turmoil. It's just sad because we just, we had cassettes, we had albums, and we never would have thought, 40 years later, we'd be talking about shareholders meetings and stuff like that. That's all square jargon, using a square word there to describe what it is. But someone else will handle the business affairs. And here's now Mick Marrs just fighting for a little piece of the action here. He claims he was the only guy playing live on the last tour. That's what he claims. And he says here, Nikki Sixx did not play a single note on bass during the entire US tour. Marrs said that when he refused to sign the papers reducing his share of touring royalties to only 5%, the band commenced an arbitration. His original filing said the group took it to arbitration rather than a public lawsuit so that the public would not be aware of the deplorable manner in which they treated their brother of 41 years. Holy crap. Marrs suffers from AS, a chronic and inflammatory form of arthritis that mainly affects the spine and pelvis. After years of performing through the pain, he informed the other members of Motley Crue last summer that he could no longer tour with them, but would still be open to recording new music or performing at residencies that didn't require much travel. In case you didn't know, Mick Marrs, his real name is Robert Allen Deal. He's served as Motley Crue's lead guitarist since the band's inception in 1981. Wow. That's just a tragic story. First of all, we hope that Mick Marrs doesn't get worse when it comes to his health. He doesn't need these guys. Apparently, these guys don't need each other, and they certainly don't respect what he did for this band. I remember reading that Neil Schon was definitely on the side of Mick Marrs in this situation. So we'll see how it all works out in the end. The arbitration thing, people hopefully get what they deserve, but the guy was there for a very long time. And my guess is, based on what he's saying about the distress and the wounds, he's like, these are wounds that can't be healed. That's really bad stuff. And we know that Motley Crue is basically an AI band at this point. That's what I'm going to start calling these groups. It's an AI band. They're going out there and they're using a ton of AI. And if you like Kiss, Kiss is another AI band. If you like AI and you can't tell the difference between AI and the real thing, you're going to go see a show and the show is just going to be fantastic, right? Because AI, that's why the show's going to be great. I went and saw a band the other night and they were playing the music live and they weren't all that great, to be honest with you, but I knew they were playing the music live. You just knew they weren't mailing it in. They weren't, using vocal tracks to enhance the sound. They were just out there belting out songs and, it was a good experience overall. It wasn't a great band, but see, I would rather do that than go see a show, pay a ton of money, travel how many hours to get to the show, and then be treated to fakery, because that's what it will be. With Motley Crue, hey, it's Motley Crue and Def Leppard, man. It's just great. At least Def Leppard, I think they're really playing stuff. Although it wouldn't surprise me if Def Leppard wasn't augmenting, not to say they're not playing live, but they're probably rounding out or enhancing the sound, making it bigger. I mean, those Mutt Lange records, those things are, technological marvels. And to play them in a stadium, you got to have a big sound to beef it up. So again, if you're into this stuff just out of the fact that it's on your bucket list and you got to see Vince Neil on stage and you got to see these guys who apparently don't really like one another, then there you go. There's your tour, Motley Crue and Def Leppard. Def Leppard should probably find another band to hang with. Maybe next year they can work that out. I know they're making a ton of money and they still sound really good. I just feel bad for Mick Marrs. This is a really super sad story. Anyway, thanks for watching, folks. As always, don't forget about this, Cry of Dawn. This came out a couple of months ago. Check it out, Anthropocene. I think I'm pronouncing that word right. Can't they just name an album a normal thing? No, it's the end of the world, and it's environmental Armageddon, and you're the problem, right? Stop driving your car, and cows, stop, doing what you're doing out there in the field, and stop eating meat too. You got to stop it. Just eat fake meat, synthetic meat. It's just amazingly tasty, right? Not. I've tried it. Some scary stuff out there. And don't forget also, folks, to listen to Modern Retro Radio, modernretrofm.com. They're playing great music all day, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And yours truly doing a little voiceover work over there. I'm so proud of myself for getting back into radio, kind of using AI. That's how you're hearing me. It's artificial intelligence. It's really me. Yeah, we used to do this stuff all the time. You record a line or a voiceover, and then driving down the road and you hear yourself on the radio. It's cool, man. It's really cool. All right. Thanks again for watching. Please subscribe to the channel. Don't forget about that. Also, Patreon. We're in a new month, folks. A new month means a bunch of people left. It just happens every time. A bunch of people left. They sign up. We talk a little bit, and then it didn't get to know anybody, and then they left. I understand. It's tough out there. People don't have a lot of disposable income, but if you can afford $1 a month, that would be great. And then YouTube memberships, $2.99 a month, and that is much appreciated. And every so often, I will do a video just for members. Maybe it's a little too spicy for everybody, or maybe I want to cover a topic that might not go over well with the people that are more into just clickbait and sensationalism. So I may do something too serious and too dry and too boring, and I'm giving that to YouTube members. So I'm thinking if you're a YouTube member, you're pretty hardcore, right? So you must like what I'm doing, hopefully. All right, I'm done with this video. Way overdone. Thanks again. God bless. God bless America. God save America. See you soon.